Hello, team. I thought I would record a couple of videos of my students' favorite brain breaks that we've been doing this year. The way that I typically do them is I'll do one brain break 3 classes in a row. The first class I introduce it in English. The second break I do it partly in Spanish and partly in English. And then the third time that I do it, which would be the third class in the sequence, I would do it mostly in Spanish, or at least part of it mostly in Spanish. And then I do the second practice, and then I would do the second practice 3 times, and then cycle back to the first practice, so spiraling the activities. So the first couple of practices, and the first one that I'll do in this video, are focused on really down-regulating our nervous system. This practice can help before going to bed. It's also just a great thing to try any point in the day when you're feeling a little bit anxious or overexcited. And it was created by a Dr. Andrew Weil, who is a Harvard-trained doctor, and it's called the 4-7-8 breath. And typically, when I teach this to my students, I have a Hoberman sphere, which is a plastic sphere that opens and closes, but I'll just use my hands because I'm at home and I don't have that. So this is how I would start off the practice. I would give them a brief introduction of what this is, and then I would just ask them to relax their bodies and explain that we'll be breathing in to the count of 4, then we'll hold our breath for the count of 7, and then we'll breathe out through our mouth to the count of 8. And you can really slow this down as long as the count is consistent. You can slow down or speed up the practice. I normally start a little bit faster and then slow it down after a few breaths. And again, this just takes a couple of minutes. So here we go. So breathing in, holding, exhaling. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. One more. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. And then just taking a second and noticing how you feel, how your students feel. Sometimes I'll ask them to rate their stress level before and after practicing. And as you can see, that practice took a little bit less than 2 minutes to do. And I'll show a couple of other practices that my students have really enjoyed. Sometimes I ask my students to share their experiences in the chat, but more often than not, I have them write their responses in Desmos so that I can see their answers, and sometimes I'll share them out. And focusing on that it's okay if students don't feel less stressed every time. And some practices will work better for them than others. I hope you all enjoyed, and that you might incorporate this practice into your own daily routine. Adios.